Looks like this stream was deleted on Facebook. Oh my God. Try creating a new stream. Oh my God. Or just remove the destination from the stream, then re-add it. What the heck? Oh my Lord. I'm sorry, guys. Steve, I swear, I went through all of this today, man. Oh my goodness. All right, let me see here. Okay, can everybody hear us? We're good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, let me just keep adding some people in here. All right, so tonight, virtual ride along, call by call. Gonna be a lot of fun here. I have a special guest on tonight, Stephen Crosby. He will be kind of going over more in details, right, with the software, how to actually use it, how to leverage it, and really just the importance behind call by call, management. For those who can chat, put in the chat if you're currently already doing call by call management. There we go. Okay. Cool. I'm going to be starting this on Monday. We are Dave, Christina. Okay. Yep. Joe, Air Nerds. Yep. Okay. Awesome. All right. So, Steve, do you want to start off by introducing yourself and just letting everybody know who you are and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So hi guys, my name is Steve. Some of you might know me, some of you might not. I've worked the past 4 years for several different groups, you could call them. Ended up being platform exits or whatever. So I've worked with Landon Brewer for probably the past 2.5, 3 years for his platforms. And where I come into play is really plugging in the VRA into the operations of the business. And some of the things we're going to dive into today, guys, I'm going to show you basically what we do. I'll show you live time in the business. I'm going to show you the technology, how it works. In the meantime, I want you all to bear in mind that I'm showing you inside of my platform and I'm showing you my personal technology. We do offer, management courses, but nothing here is a sales pitch, guys. I'm just using my stuff as, the ability to show you how it works in real time. So I don't want you guys to think there is anything here that's involved in the sales pitch. This is simply me showing you guys and of course, answering any questions about VRA, call by call. I have ample experience when it comes to all sides of it, right? So I started in the field when this was a very rough and mechanical process back in the day. And the bigger thing to consider is this isn't a magic bullet, guys. This is not some big thing everybody's trying to make it out to be. Really all it is it's a technology that allows us to streamline our SOPs, right? And it gives us full visibility to the workflow in live time. So, I mean, back in the day, you typically have to ride with somebody to help give them training to your standard or to your SOP. And that's where this becomes largely different.
Yep, I agree.
So before we begin, all I'm really going to do today, guys, is take you through the software, show you the technology, a couple SOPs in live time. But before we begin, does anybody have any questions on call by call management, what it means, anything to start out with? right, now I need to figure out how to.
No questions here so far.
Cool deal.
Yeah, you should be able to click the. Do you have the ability to click the present button on the bottom there?
Yeah, I see
If
it.
not, I can make you the presenter.
I can see it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to be showing you this in my Service Titan clients, or one of my Service Titan clients. This does plug in to all CRMs. We're working on expanding those capabilities right now. But the only CRM that we have the ability for two-way capabilities is Service Titan. So to show you what that means, this is, if you haven't seen a dispatch for a call, job profile for Service Titan, this is what it looks like. So when you scroll down to the right here, this is where the history begins for the call. You can see there's a link pinned. Right, so that link is automatically populated through the API in the software. So whenever a job is booked and put on the dispatch board, it automatically creates the link and puts it on the job, right? So when we click on that link, it physically takes us to the channel, right? So before I show you this channel, what I'm going to do is kind of give you guys an inside look at a perfect channel.
Hey, Steven, you're not sharing your screen. Oh.
There we go. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so again, guys, it gives us lifetime visibility into the workflow of the call as the call is taking place. So now a manager has a span of control, right? It allows one manager to virtually ride along with up to 15 technicians, about roughly, depending on capacity and sales structure, right? This is an example of our single job process for air conditioners, right? You have Steve here as the tech, and you have Taylor here as the manager. And as you can see, you can read this and see the physical storyline and what's taking place, right? The timestamps are also invaluable to help you make sure that we're on path to a specific SOP, right? So piece one of successful call by call is always going to be saying, as an operator, as a business, this is our vision to a proper maintenance. This is our vision to a proper service call. And you create that SOP, right? And this is what brings it to live in a virtual fashion, allowing you to control it. We used to, back in the day, I did this manually, right? So we had to manually create the channels, manually do everything. It was a nightmare. And we've spent the money and time and resources in the past few years to automate this and really streamline it for our own businesses. Right. So as we scroll down, you can see the SOP coming to life. This is a perfect example. So you're literally seeing a call and how it should run. Piece by piece, right, to the timestamps. Airflow is a big thing. You can see the manager immediately getting involved once the initial inspection is done. There is an engagement with the tech and the manager on the phone. So at any time, you can see this is part of our inspection process. So we actually clean condensers before we really do anything, and that's on any type of call for us personally. And the reason is it's a big value build step. A lot of people don't do it, or a lot of people charge for it. And for us, it's always initial readings. These initial readings are wrong. Do the basic services of an HVAC tech, right, which includes cleaning the condenser, cleaning the drain. And then, of course, we retest everything afterwards to show any improvements. Now, the SOP process can vary, right? Some companies want to see different sorts of tests. Some companies don't really care about inrush amp draw, for instance. Where I live, we have a lot of heat pumps, and you'd be surprised. Some of these heat pumps pull, anywhere from 100 to 200 amps on startup for inrush amps. So the SOP can kind of vary based on what the company wants to see or what the company's running. And this is, we do plumbing, HVAC, electrical, solar. This is just an HVAC example. So you can see the entire outcome of the call, and that's what makes this so valuable, right? Now, to show that in a live time example, it's easy for me to show you guys a scripted example. And that's what I didn't want to do, right? I didn't want to come in and show you guys a perfect script that I wrote. I wanted to show you what it looks like in live time. So I found a pretty good example. Well, we're going to go back and go this way. Sorry, guys. It's a little messy for me. I have a lot of clients here. So here's a live time example. This is up in, I believe this is going to be Wisconsin. Okay, so where did the call start? Right here, September 19th is the initial call. You can see the call by call manager. They always post what we call a template of the SOP on what they want to see. And you can see the technician taking off. This is a supervisor, actually, so this is a sales call. And you can see immediately, guys, on this gas furnace that we have a 1 inch of static. I don't know if any of you guys test this, if you've studied on this. If you're not, definitely should. A lot of people neglect what's right for airflow. They got really involved with, selling the box, pushing home performance, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people kind of forgot how to HVAC. Everything we work on is forced air systems. It doesn't matter if it's a furnace or a heat pump, gas, electric, doesn't matter. It's a forced air system, right? So the primary fixed metric in the design of all of these is forced air. So when you don't have proper airflow, you fundamentally change all the other parameters of the system, right? So it becomes a very imperative measurement in our SOP. NCI, right? We should never really have more than 20% per side for a 40% of our total allowance. If you actually measure all of your systems in your businesses, there is a good chance, I would say probably 80 to 90% of your customers have failed airflow in some way, shape, or form. So you can see the call actually comes to light, right? Call me. Can we send someone out ASAP? They're trying to get a sales guy out here. Good pictures of the heat exchanger. I'm from Florida, so I don't see this a lot, but that does not look very healthy. So you can see Jimmy coming out, right? It was immediately turned over, and pay attention to the timeline, guys. The 19th at noon. Who's still out there at noon on the 19th? Right, the tech is still there. So this is literally a warm turnover, a warm handoff to the sales supervisor. And he immediately goes in and he starts running his SOP. Now, obviously, you can see a lot of what he's doing is verifying or second opinioning what was done. You can see I would assume the tech, it's not communicated here, but I would assume that the technician adjusted the blower speed, and that's why they got this slight difference here. Still, that's wildly failed. Guys, if you're in an ultra low NOx environment or a low NOx environment and you're tired of these ghost failures and all this stuff, start testing your airflow. I promise they're not bad machines. Yes, the Nest thermostats and all those great products burn out consistently on those types of systems. The reason typically comes down to airflow. They're very, very peculiar on the amount of airflow they need. So that was a big learning curve for us on figuring out why we had so many ultra low NOx systems with Wi-Fi thermostats that were not able to stay good, right? The relays and cooling or heating would fail. So you can see the supervisor going through his section of the SOP. Just needs a duct fix. The ducts are simply too small. And they sold it. It looks like maybe they offered it at least, right? Financing trouble, right? You can see the guys, and this is what you really should see here is your guys engaging like this together to where it's not such a a tight controlled thing. Yes, there's a line of accountability, and yes, when a guy jumps off pathway, call by call is so you can help get them back on pathway. before damage is recognized to the customer or the brand. That is what this is for, right? So having that good relationship and camaraderie between the team is great. Looks like they closed this. We'll go back and look at Titan real quick. There you go. So they sold a, let's see what they sold. It was 25,000. There you go. An aero seal, duct cleaning, and a 2-piece of equipment. And it looks like they added a couple drops. Now, this is an unscripted part, guys. It might bite me here, but I was going to go to project costing, which is only available if you have Pricebook Pro now. Of course. So there's the full purchase order price. Goodman, that's the same one that was readjusted backwards. It's about $4,000 in materials, a little more. So not too bad at all, right? And again, it's the technology that gives the visibility and the span of control. So if you go back and you look at, prior times, pre-call by call, pre-technology, if you had a technician that was struggling, your manager would have to ride in the truck with him to help teach him, right? Or to help control the SOP. This is what allows it to happen virtually in live time. When you look at some of the most successful sales models, like the phone closing models that some people run, this is kind of where those models started, right? Was the ability to have that communication in live time, between the management body and the technicians. Another very big piece of this, depending on who you have in your call-by-call seat, it really, really allows you to open up the span of who you can hire in this industry. If you can open up the span of who you can hire in the industry, you can open up what we call the span of opportunity and capabilities. In some of our more mature platform companies, they have the ability to take a completely greenhorn person with zero experience, run them through internal training academies. Some of them do use external training resources as well. And we literally have pathways from starting out at $20 an hour, capping out at $50, $60 an hour. Some guys are even up into the 80s and 90s within 6 months to a year of employment. And some of these businesses can, help achieve that even sooner. And again, a lot of that just comes back to proper controls of the business, right? So again, guys, it all comes down to standardize your SOPs, and then you got to have the technology to plug it in. A little bit about this technology, guys. We didn't really know how to, forever, everybody's been asking, what is call by call? How does it really work? How do you guys really use it successfully? And it was kind of hard to find a way to get it out to the public as a technology stack, believe it or not, because we're not technology guys. Like, we built this for our businesses, for our people, to benefit our people. I used to make Slack channels manually. I used to score them manually, and I used to have to clean and scrub and delete them manually, right? I'll never forget those grueling nights on myself as a manager. So the software was really designed to automate and streamline that entire process. Right. So guys, this is, from what I'm aware of, I think Mark can touch it on more. It's my product, so I should probably know a little bit more about it, but I'm pretty sure it's being offered to free for everybody. All you have to do is, you do have to pay for a GHL account. It's like $240 a month. And then we plug in the stack for you. We integrate it to your CRM. If you pay for Slack Pro, no, guys, I don't have any affiliations with Slack. I just use their software. But if you use Slack Pro, let me pull this back open for you and stream. But it actually has what we call two-way capability for importing. Right now, that's only available with Service Titan, but it is a huge time saver. Right. Can you guys see my screen?
I can't see it yet, Steve.
Okay.
I'll let you know though once we do.
Share.
And apparently I'm only limited to having 10 people in this at once. It's driving me absolutely bonkers right now because so many people are pissed off. I love technology.
Can you guys see it now? It says everybody can see it.
Still nothing. No. Here, let me make you the presenter. How do I do that? There we go. Still nothing, buddy. Says I made you the presenter.
Share. It says it's sharing on the bottom of my thing.
I can't. No, we can't see anything yet on our end.
Here,
let me. Yeah, let me. How do I make the hell? They claim that this software is supposed to be easy to use.
It says I'm sharing in the bottom. It's weird. So anyway, with ServiceTitan, guys, it actually has, if you pay for Slack Pro, I think it's like $7 or something user a month, but it allows two-way importing. So as your technicians upload the pictures, as they run the process, as the communication happens, that actually is all uploading back into ServiceTitan. Let's try it now. Let's see here. Can you guys see it now?
No.
Nope. Oh well. So it loads the pictures, the conversation, the entire chat history into the CRM in live time.
What the heck? We just lose Steve? Oh my goodness. We just lose Steve? We did. Awesome. Wow. Oh. All right, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. There you go. Steve, you back?
Sorry about that, guys. My thing crashed there when I switched screens. So anyway, with ServiceTitan CRM,
Can you try to share your screen again now that for shits and giggles? Okay.
Sure, let's try it now. Present, share screen, entire window, entire screen. We'll do that one.
Okay, I see.
There we go. Yep. Perfect. So this is the Slack channel, right, guys? Or I'm sorry, the ServiceTitan CRM job page. And I seen your question there. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I think it's Air Nerds guy. Yes, with ServiceTitan, every single time you're dispatched, there's a new, or every time you go out to a client, there is a new job created. So the history stays internally. If you pay for Slack Pro, guys, that's the other benefit. Not only do you get the two-way integration I'm going to show you here, it keeps the history forever, right? So you can always go back to that customer channel and see exactly what happened, who's been there, and how many times they've been there. But if we look down here in the history of this call job, you can see these are a lot of ServiceTitan actions in here. But you can see all the files being imported in. right? So it's, and that one's a little bit, rough, the two-way imports with Service Titan right now. But it saves so much time on both sides. When think about your call by call manager, the biggest hiccup for me when I was managing technicians when we didn't have the technology was being in Service Titan itself or being in the CRM itself. Now we're sitting here trying to manage 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. You have to click into 5, 6, 7, 8 different calls, scroll through screens, loading time, yada, yada, yada. Slack gives you the ability to organize it day by day, alert by alert. As people post things, it brings it back up. So it has probably some of the most advanced, notification abilities there are. And that's one of the huge benefits that allow it to have a large span of control with technicians. Going high level account, Dave. So the GHL account. Go high level. And it's like $240 a month or something like that. There'll be a link that Mark can give you. You go through that link. That link takes you to GHL. You sign up through GHL, and then it automatically starts the stack creation, right? And then all we do is connect the CRM, your CRM, to that GHL stack itself. So guys, do we have any questions, comments?
Yep. Does everybody have the ability to unmute themselves?
I have a quick question. So what's the advantage of the $200 subscription like add-on versus just doing the Slack?
The connection to the actual CRM, right? If not, you just have this random server with all of your calls and no sort of connection to them, right? So having that with it connected, you have the ability to go into your CRM and it's always on the specific job to the specific channel, right? So it keeps it extremely organized.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense. Thank you.
But for many years, I did run it. Like I said, before we had all this, we ran it standalone. It was just a heck of a lot harder to tie this job in the CRM belongs to this Slack channel, especially once you start getting a history. I mean, we had probably, 2,000 channels a month going on.
Right. And so right now I only have 4 or 5 vans on the road at any given day, and I'm manually going to the job, and I have my text thread going at the same time as I see them going through the job, right? And we have a process, so I get to see that they're following the process with the date, the timestamps. But it's literally like I'm watching it on Service Titan, but then directly texting them. So I love that integration.
Yeah, definitely. That's really the purpose of Slack, right? It gives you the ability to separate that piece. And then that allows you as an op on who needs the improvement, or like I said, really allows span of control. And what I mean by that is if you have an experienced guy behind the call by call, it means that you don't have to have a super experienced guy now to run successful maintenances or successful turnover calls. And if there's, in-depth troubleshooting, you have lifetime visibility and assistance right there.
Yeah, 100%. There's honestly like 4 to 5 basic tests that somebody with just a couple weeks under their belt, if they're a good person, are going to be able to safely do, right? So, but being able to monitor it and scale it, that's what I've been looking for. So this is perfect.
Anybody else have questions? I'm sure you guys have a ton to hit Steve up with.
So how does it start to look when you have, say, 4 people going through at the same time? How are you is it just as simple as clicking tabs on Slack, or you have multiple screens, or what are you doing for multiple texts?
Yeah, so it's as simple as having them organized on Slack. You have the ability to organize the channels. And when you pay for Pro, it allows you to create sections and get fancy. So we typically pay for Pro. And then what I'll do, Dave, is I'll organize by the date, right? So I'll go and then I move it to that section.
Hey, can you repeat that? You cut it. You're starting to cut out a bit.
My internet's horrible. It's not my internet. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can hear you now, but can you just repeat what you said?
Yeah. So with Slack, I have the ability to organize very well notifications, right? Based on notifications. So as they upload, that channel will move to the top. If you pay for Pro, you can organize by sections. For Slack Pro, you can organize by sections. I always get that for me just for that piece. But then I organize it by the day. Calls in the beginning of the day, I put them in that section, and then I turn my notification or my my channel controls to where they come up in the most recent. So as they populate the channels, I'm right there. I can click on 4, 5, 6 different channels at once. We have some mobile phone teams right now for our platform partners that they help all the different partners with sales over the phone. Those guys are a different breed. Multiple screens in multiple tabs, right? So you can actually have multiple different Slack tabs open at once, Dave, have 4 or 5 channels open across the bottom, and have them to where they keep populating in live time, so you can literally see everything at once.
Yeah. So for those that are wondering about the whole Slack thing, I mean, honestly, just go with the Pro plan. It's worth it. It really is. What is it, like $10 a month or something like that, Steve?
Well, it's $7 per user per month.
Oh, $7 per user per month.
Correct.
Okay. So I guess it could get costly as you add users, but I mean,
without a doubt, but that really comes down to in the business to have control. I've never not seen it pay for itself, is what I can say.
Yeah. So if you're going to do it, definitely go with the Pro plan. Because again, with the Pro plan of Slack, you'll have that direct integration with Service Titan, as well as now. Is that the case with like Sarah and other CRMs as well, Steve, or are there some complications?
It does not have two-way integration capabilities. We are working with those CRM engineering teams to get that done.
Okay.
But as of right now, it's only the one-way integration. However, again, that's where you have to consider the benefits of you have a lot more organizational tools, and you have the ability to organize quite a bit better in the unlimited history. If you don't pay for Slack Pro, the channel scrubs after 90 days.
Okay.
About how many technicians are like one call-by-call manager typically handling in y'all's companies?
So it really depends on the sales system and how advanced that person is. Think of a video game guy drinking Red Bull, right? Like super high functioning, very good with electronics. Some 15, 16, 17 technicians, but that number really ranges from, about 8 to 15, depending on how good they are with technology. And
do you ever look for experience? Like, back in the day, the service manager oftentimes would have been, the tech who did it for 20 years. Like, are you guys going into it looking from that angle? Or are you more looking for competence of following what you guys have already written out as a process and more computer savvy and less like experience, like the experienced HVAC guy who's, wanting to get out of the van type of guy?
I'm sorry, but my internet's cutting up. Can you re-ask your question? I caught bits and pieces of it.
Are you guys typically looking for the more mechanical backgrounded guy, like the seasoned vet tech that's looking to get out of the van, or are you more catering to personality and tech savviness based on the SOPs y'all have given for him just to follow, right? Like this.
Honestly, I would say business, right? You have to have experience in the business. Me personally, guys, I have a service engineering background, not a degree, but a full-fledged background. Very educated in HVAC mechanically. But when we talk about this, just what you said, it does give you the ability to start hiring outside of that realm. The industry is ran rampant. This is the only place of employment where a person has the mentality they can get in a truck and they can do what they want, and that's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. But I mean, look at some of your most successful enterprises. Look at fast food chains, McDonald's. Do you think at McDonald's you walk in there and tell the boss on day one how to make a Big Mac? Right? I mean, obviously you're going to go in, you're going to follow their process to make a Big Mac, and it's going to come out very well. Now that type of thing doesn't always resonate well with super experienced guys who have been in the field for a long time. A lot of them end up seeing that as micromanagement. But there's always a seat on the bus for everybody. Those guys typically become, installers or very good service project guys, to where they're not focused on sales. They're only focused on, the actual fixing of the equipment or the installation of the equipment.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I see that forward thinking. And I was looking for a way to scale it because we are just a small company. A step further there for me is like when you have somebody that is more tech savvy, they don't even have to be that experienced in HVAC, but certain technical test results then trigger an estimate, right? Low pressure triggers XYZ estimate based on is it under warranty or not. Like we operate that way, but I'm doing it manually. So like this amp draw triggers this estimate, or this coil condition triggers this estimate. We're all doing that manually right now. But if you place that guy in that driver's seat, if you will, or that management seat, and then you just have a team of guys, they don't have to be that experienced, but they're just reporting back to you 5 to 10 test parameters. And each one of those test parameters then triggers an estimate. You really don't have to have somebody that experienced, like the old school way of moving the 20-year tech into a management position. Most of the time they were half-ass managers, right? The seasoned tech didn't make a great manager. So I dig this a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely helped us bridge a lot of the employment gaps. I don't always want to say it's based on experience, because I've got some guys with a lot of experience who just completely murder it. I think it really comes down to mentality and buy-on. If your employees are like, dude, we love you, we're down to do whatever you say we need to do, and we're just going to do it. If that's the attitude, it'll be super successful. It's when you as an operator fail to sell that vision. Another big problem, especially in the guru land nowadays, is overtraining different processes, consistently changing things. Right. So those are the types of things that seasoned guys typically don't like. But it really does allow a span of control. But I don't want to say it's based on experience at all, because it's really based on communication skills. There's just a lot less technicians that are very good technicians that are also very good communicators. They would probably be in sales, right?
Yeah, we need to tell them that dirty coil needs cleaned and there's a price with it.
Absolutely.
So, Steve, for someone to start call by call in their business, what would be the steps?
Man, the steps are get off your ass and do it, guys. It'll be the best thing you've ever done for your business. It'll be the best thing you've ever done for your employees. I don't care if you hack it and half fail at doing it yourself, trying it, you're still going to get better results than not monitoring your calls. And furthermore, I don't know the size of everybody here. I've been at all different sizes. Quality control becomes a big thing as you grow, right? And for you to ensure that your execution of your vision, your brand and mission statement is actually being followed at all times, you have to have those lifetime controls, right? Or you turn into one of these big national chain with horrible reviews. That's not what we're here for. We're here to grow nationwide teams. You have to have happy employees, you have to have happy customers, and you have to have something to keep it organized and controlled. And that's really what Slack allows us to do. That's what the software allows us to do.
So to just reiterate for everybody, you're going to need Slack, right?
Yeah, so you click on the link that Mark gives you. It takes you to a GHL page. You guys sign up for GHL. That has nothing to do with us. That just links it to our stack. So you sign up for your GHL. I may be misquoting because again, guys, I do what I do, and I have teams of people around me that do what they do. Alan Ferguson here might be able to correct me a little bit on this one. But you sign up for the GHL, all right, and then the software stack is put into place and the integration is done. That's really all it. You pay for your Slack and good to go.
And I think to back up a little bit more to what Mark was asking too, like what is your first couple steps? For us, and I think for most people, it's creating a process that then the cell phone is in your hand throughout the process with the camera app ready to go. So I train my guys that camera is in your hand at the thermostat, at the filter, at the air handler. We particularly have a process that you're not allowed to go to the outdoor unit last. And because we have Service Titan, you can see that the process is being done in real time, right through the timestamps. We have to go to the thermostat first, the filter first, the air handler first, the duct work. The outdoor unit is last for us. So I think creating that internal process with the camera in your hand, getting it into Service Titan and just practicing that, then you're tying in the integration, which is kind of parts 2 and 3. But parts 2 and 3 don't work if part 1 isn't the inside process taking the pictures to begin with on every call.
And flip that experience spectrum. Got one of my buddies watching live right now, and he just sent me a text as a reminder. He probably facilitates, I don't want to be grandiose, at least 12 million a year in sales over the phone. He came from a tire shop, guys. He sold tires to my boss a couple of years back. This is what he did, right? He sold tires. And he came on and he learned the process, and he controls the process through call by call. One of the best managers we have. So, I mean, it is very, very dynamic. It's more about the personality and the willingness to execute versus experience. Of course, we need experience in our business. We all have jobs to do that. We have to execute whatever we sell. And this only helps fuel that, right? Because when you have top performing sales guys with top performing sales metrics, do you know what you can afford? You can afford more than anybody else in the industry, right? And that for me that's the reason I'm in this, guys. I was a regular to any of you guys who know me closely, and there's not a lot out there. I was a $70,000 a year technician 4 years ago. I've been through $2 billion of equity growth since then through this process. I'm just a normal guy. I was just willing to learn, and I dedicated myself towards it, right? So I think that's the fundamental piece for everybody here is it's going to allow you to tap into the biggest problem we have in our industry right now, which is lack of experienced personnel. It is the biggest bane is finding a good technician or a good manager or a good sales rep or a good installer. It's the nonstop complaint. It's the one thing nobody can seem to wrap their arms around. The reality is when you pay 35, 45, 55% more than anybody else in your town because you run clean financials and you run a strong data-driven business, there is no competition. Your guys can work 4-day work weeks and still make more than they could anywhere else. Why would they ever quit? Right? So that's a very big piece of it is it really allows you to get your arms around the experience.
So I dropped a link for everybody in the chat. Hopefully everyone saw that. There's a couple of different buttons that you can click on once it takes you to that link, right? But the main one that we're dropping in here obviously is the free software. So you can click on that link. That should redirect you to signing up for Go High Level, right? And then also going to get your Slack Pro account set up. Steve, talk a little bit about, can you give some data or some stats on where companies have been from before they set up call by call to where they are now? I mean, you've had a lot of experience looking at all the different people that you're a part of. Can you shed a little bit more light on that for folks?
Yeah, let me draft a document up here and kind of change a couple of things to protect some people's privacy.
Sure. Hopefully we can get your screen share working again. I think I realize what it is. Because I'm limited on how many people can actually be in this room right now, I may have to boot somebody from it in order to allow your screen. Yeah, I didn't realize that was happening before until I did some more Google searching, and Maybe we won't be using StreamYard moving forward. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? I could get back to playing Call of Duty. I get the total concept. We already do it, but this is the integration we need with Service Titan. So feel free. I'll back out.
Yeah, Jimmy, we can have a separate call afterwards if you want, man. So.
Hey, this was awesome, man. So thank you guys.
Yeah, guys, look, please understand. I don't care if you're working with us on a management group level or partner level. I help people. That's like really, really what I do. So if you guys go through implementing this, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me questions. Like I've been through it on a management side. I've been through it on, a technician side. I've been through it as an operator, as an owner. I've probably had the struggle fought, or my teammates have probably fought the struggle for me.
And
yeah, Steve's a great guy.
It only works on Service Titan, right?
No, it works on several different CRMs, House Call Pro, Sierra. Only the two-way integration works with Service Titan.
Okay, got it. That's one of the reasons I joined Titan, because I kind of, again, was going through that process in my mind, building out our business. This was a way that I didn't see to be able to scale it. So very cool. It goes back to we were already doing it manually, but now you can integrate it. So very nice. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, bud.
Yep. Thank you, Jimmy.
Well, I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what we have going on. Need to verify a couple of things here. Trying to figure out the best one to show you here. All right, what do you guys want to see? Turnover rates? I think that's probably where we should start. So let me do this.
Yeah, definitely the turnovers. And let me know when you click share, because I might have to boot somebody. Sorry, guys.
Let me see here. I need to do this. All right. Now I can open this up.
Okay. And we should be able to, there we go.
No better time than lifetime, guys. So here is a snippet of some of the national platform people on our national platform that I work with. And to just kind of dive into this real quick and show you guys what these types of things mean. Single job repair rate, opportunity turnover rate. Most people think that a 20 or 30% turnover is normal. I mean, we run 50, 60. I have months documented of 70, 80%, right? Consistently with turnovers on LTMs. As a matter of fact, let me drop my screen. I'm going to take you to a specific LTM. Hold on, give me 1 second. I see a question here from Brenda. Oh, okay. Great question. So two-way integration means that as your technicians post the pictures and they type the comments back and forth in Slack, it automatically is API back into your CRM. So all the conversation, all the photos automatically go back into Service Titan. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this screen. I had a friend of mine who is a partner as well who was going to join us tonight, but his kid had a volleyball thing. So he was not able to make it, but he'll let me use his stuff. So I am going to show you guys a little bit of that. So you can kind of see what happened in 2023 with this business. Okay.
Yeah, let me know when you try to share it. I'll add it in.
Doing it now.
Okay, buddy.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay, so you have to physically add it.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Right.
So I'm going to do some more research after this to see if I'm going to keep paying for the software or not.
10-4. There you go. All right, so the percentage is not. Yeah, hold on, guys. I'm going to go back and find last year's document because the percentages are broken on that one.
And then once you do have it pulled up, Steve, if you have the ability to zoom in a little bit more on that, I know I'm having a hard time seeing it. I'm not sure if everybody else is, but.
Okay. So, guys, this was a company. It was recommended by a best practice group that he shut down his HVAC department. He was told by his best practice group to stop doing ductwork some years back. One of the most crazy, foolish things I've ever heard in my life is stop doing ductwork because it's not profitable. If your ductwork jobs are not profitable, you're just not selling ductwork properly. And that's not a problem at all. It's one of the most profitable segments in home services. So there's never in a way that ever should be not offer ductwork as a business, number one. Number two, if you're an air conditioning contractor, you're selling and working on forced air systems that are, fundamentally engineered in the factory around airflow being proper. So when you look at this, look at the revenue trend here. Well, I wish it showed the percentages, but it doesn't. Yeah. Well, you can see the percentage growth. And so everything over 100% is revenue growth. Okay, so this bit 43% growth on average over the year, right? Which is fairly substantial, especially considering the financial position they were in the beginning. When we look at the job count, not all of these months flourished. Look at this right here, April. So April, we had 33%. We had 20% less call. Right? May, that's a big difference to 100, guys, right? Still hold a 16% growth, right? So how are we able to do that? They're really pulling the SOP with the software to make sure that you're executing this. Look at these percentages when we first started working with this business, guys, back in 2000. You see when I started working with them right here. And you can see this was kind of like self-implementation. Now look at this. There's probably not a PE firm out there that would believe this is real. 50% turnover average, meaning 50% of all single job opportunities we walked into were turned into a sales opportunity. Right? So knowing you're plugged into the technology, it allows you to know your business, know your board, right? And make sure that you're driving against the metrics that feed your actual revenue. As you can see from the very months, if we had low call count, we would simply turn over more. According to the Department of Energy, electrical, there's going to be 70 to 80% design failure in something involving your segment in the home service space. And if that is the case and you are turning over less than 70%, that means that people have critical design failure that you're not showing them or addressing as a contractor, right? So that's what the process does, and the tech is to run a uniform process. So everything is being documented. Everybody is running the exact same process in lockstep. We know everything is correct or incorrect experiences, right? It really allows you to control these metrics a lot better. All the way back to your conversion mix. I don't want to get this too deep and diluted, but at the end of the day, guys, I'll just disclose the numbers. This was a business that wasn't far away from being out of cash flow negative. This was a business that had to pull a loan business. Now, thank God, as soon as they pulled the loan, they met me, and we started working together. Because of the call by call, how ruthlessly he implemented, he had to turn around in his business. But him and his wife this year ran some very, very good metrics: 3.9 million, 33% EBITDA. right? So I mean, it's like over $1.2 million of cash money in the bank account across 3.9 million this year in revenue. We're slotted to do 8 million with that same business next year. We had 2 million per office staff in revenue and like 498 or 500,000 per office field staff in revenue. So extremely successful, extremely strong year. My team did work with this guy every day on a day-by-day basis. He's part of our, back in the day, he was part of our managing group. Now he's an ascended operator, part of the platform, so he's kind of halfway residual in the business. But it's only because of the call by call and how ruthlessly he executed it into his business that he was able to see that substantial control and growth. I mean, some of you guys here probably know Over the Moon. It's Sean White. He's a great guy. Any one of you can reach out to him and talk to him about it. Feel free to ask him. I didn't charge him for the first 8 months because he had worked with every sales guru in the world. And I told him, you just need to run the business to the basics, brother, and you can fix this easily. And I will prove it to you. That's exactly what we did here. But the real success is behind the fact that him as an operator took the software. He's an electrician, doesn't know a lot about HVAC, but he was able to blow up his HVAC department in a large manner because to him, being an electrician, it was SOP. So if he can't deviate from the SOP, that's all he knows, hence the success. Right? Now, the downside to that is we have the not the downside for operational downside is you have to have the highest paid, the best production guys. You have to have your production processes aligned and streamlined. I don't know why, buddy. I don't know if it's my internet connection or the streaming.
No, you're good now. It was like cutting in and out for a little bit there, and now it seems like it's solid.
This is wild, guys. You pay for 1,000 Mbps, you're direct wired. Comcast owns your life, and your internet still cuts in and out.
Keep going. This is good stuff. Keep going.
Yeah, but anyway, guys, it was only because as an operator, he took it and he said A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, look who is here on commenting. There you go.
Yeah, Ken hit me up. He goes, let me in so I can share my results with everybody so they can get to see how this works. I
was going to have Sean White do it, but since there's a storm and a thing with the kid, can you unmute Ken and open up the floor to Ken, and he can kind of talk about, he's been running VRA. You can see, guys, he started in November of 2023, and let's see what it's done for his business.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, oh man, just got back from house hunting and thought I'd jump on this video here. How you doing, Steven?
Good to see you, brother.
Nice to see you. Hey guys, I'm kind of straight to the point, salt of the earth type of dude. Man, I've been in business for 21 years. Scratching my head, beating my head against the wall, really. Biggest I'd ever gotten was $3 million. And, we joined this platform last November. And that first 60 days, we did $1.4 million in revenue on less calls. And man, we're just stacking. And that's about 3 times what we did in the same time frame last year.
Now, full disclosure.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. Let's give a round of applause for that.
Full disclosure, guys. Ken's managers are so bought on. They said, teach us the metric and we're going to run it. I didn't have to hold that team accountable. They held themselves accountable. So it's definitely amazing to see that type of stuff happen in businesses. Ken, thank you so much for jumping on here, man.
Hey, no problem, man. My managers, they love it, dude. We had to make a few, shifts in how we do things, but they fell right in line. And our sales guys are loving it. We just hired our 5th sales guy. We had 2 normally, and we could barely keep those 2 busy, but we've got 5, and we're just hiring like crazy. I think we've hired maybe 5 techs this month already.
I love it, man. Absolutely love it. Also,
I appreciate you being in here, Ken. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem, man. I just, you know, like Stephen alluded to earlier, we all try to figure out how to fix things and how to make things work. And there's so many like gurus and predators that, you know, get you down these rabbit holes. And man, you know, this isn't that. This is straight up, hey, forget all the noise. Here's what you need to focus on. Let's get out and get it.
And you wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and you have a spreadsheet that literally tells you exactly what you need to focus on in your business that day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually they update I think around 4:30 for us. We're Eastern Standard, so I wake up 4:30 in the morning. I know exactly, you know, yesterday's performance. We do a huddle at 8:30. We do a check-in at 2 p.m. And man, it just, I mean, it's actually easier to be honest with you. I mean, it was first month, you know, it took some real grind, but man, the job is becoming easier for all of us involved. We just rolled out a bonus program for our managers, and they're super stoked about that. They're going to make probably about 150% of their normal, you know, pay. So they're all psyched.
I love it, man. You have so much more clarity now when you come into the office, you know, and know what to do, right? Like having the data and knowing what to focus on is critical. Critical.
So another guy we got here is Alan Ferguson. Alan kind of helped me explore my my plumbing and drain SOPs in the beginning and help get him dialed in. He's been running VRA for some time. Maybe Alan can shed some light from the drain and plumbing side.
I was taught 2013 by Joe Cunningham. He introduced call by call. We didn't call it that, but it was more, we didn't have the dedicated office call by call manager. We had service technicians who run the call, and we had senior service technicians who were the communicators. You call them the sales guys over there. And it was all about following process. So Joe helped us set up the process. I simplify. I coach plumbers and drainers mainly, but I help to simplify the process. I think any call can be run a certain way. Well, I know a drain call can. I mean, we had air conditioning, but not as big as some of you guys. So the only change to call by call now is the having someone that can be dedicated in the office to. But look, there's a little bit of difference in the way I've been taught, and I'm trying to learn how you guys are doing it, because I know it's working, and I want to teach all the contractors in Australia how to do it. So I'm learning just like everyone else here, and I appreciate everything you do, Steve. You're a legend in the industry, and Mark, congratulations. And I hope you all understood me.
Absolutely, Alan. It's great to have you here, man.
It's good to be here. Love it.
So what other questions do you guys have now that we actually have, you know, Ken on as well, and Alan? You know, feel free, guys, unmute yourselves and fire away. This is the time to ask us. Who haven't we heard from here? Let's see. How about Joe? Joe, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself?
Yep, I can hear you.
Any questions for us, Joe?
So with the call by call, the actual process, like, so I'm an electrical, you know, we do electrical service. What would the process be for the technician? You know, I can kind of see some of the process there. They were showing HVAC examples, but is that process laid out in the call by call, or that's something that has to be developed for the electrical?
Now we have it completely dialed in for electrical, plumbing, HVAC, drain, sewers, and solar.
Okay.
So
I'll jump in with electrical. We added electrical to our business quite a few years ago, and fuck me if it's not the most profitable area. That it can be the most profitable area of a business if you're targeting full house rewires and switchboards. And I work with a a contractor in Brisbane, Australia, that taught me that every single call they run, they take a photo of the switchboard that goes into their dispatch program. They have a dedicated electrician who looks at it and says that needs this, this, and this, and they doesn't matter whether it's a plumber or electrician. They put that proposal in front of the customer. They keep 5 trucks busy full time just replacing electrical switchboards. So electrical is very, very profitable. And I was working with a contractor a few days ago that's plumbing, air conditioning, and electrical, and he's not doing that well with his electrical division, and he's about to shut it down. I said, no, don't do that. That can be so friggin' profitable.
Yeah. So Joe, to answer your question, we do have those SOPs, or those the ability to have this work with multiple different trades, right? Whether you're plumbing, HVAC, electrical, drain cleaning, solar, those are really the main ones that we have proven and tested it out with.
Gotcha.
Have you tried to implement call by call already, Joe, or are you looking at implementing it?
You know, I'm only 3 trucks, so I have done it in the past where I don't have, you know, it was more or less when I got that new technician up and running, I would go call by call with him until I felt like he was able to get on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably where I fell off. I needed to keep going with it.
Well, this will give you so much more clarity now, right? Even if you're a small company or a large company, right? But I think that the smaller companies actually have more advantage to this than the larger ones, because it's more manageable, right? When you are a smaller company, as opposed to having 50 or 100 trucks on the road. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be critical for you, especially because you can essentially know what your guys are doing now in every single call without you physically having to be there. And you can, like, when you see the Slack channel and you see all the things popping in and coming in real time, it's crazy wild to me. Like, to sit here from the comfort of my home and to be able to like see what's going on with everybody is just crazy to me. So that when they call, right, and they're getting jammed up on that sales call, or they don't know how to pitch something on repair or replace or whatever, I don't even have to ask them what's going on. I can see it, right? So I'm just way ahead of the game in terms of like, hey, I know you need to mention this, or I know you should be talking about this, because I'm seeing all of the data in real time, right? I'm seeing the static pressure readings. I'm seeing the measurements that they're uploading, all the photos, things that might look weird, or, you know, maybe a crack in a heat exchanger, like whatever it is, we have the ability now to see that. In your case, the same thing can apply, right? Whether it's electrical or HVAC.
Gotcha.
I'll just jump in again with electrical. You can decide what it is you want your technicians to do. I would come up with the ultimate call, and that might be 18 steps. And then if that ultimate call checks everything that needs to be checked, safety, whatever, then you get everyone to run that call exactly the same. So what I found, the biggest culprits were the most skilled guys, because they get lazy. They take shortcuts. They think that when you walk up a flight of stairs, you can miss 2 or 3 steps. No, everyone fucking goes 1 step at a time. Everyone, doesn't matter whether you're entry level or the most advanced guy, you follow the fucking process. So that's basically what call by call does, right?
You basically summed it up, man. Yep.
Follow the fucking process, guys.
Follow the fucking process. Yeah.
I was, interestingly enough, when I started in the field, guys, I was the guy who bought the process. And the tire salesman I was telling you about, I actually had to go down to South Florida, and I was at the point where I had to quit my job, go back to hourly pay, or just do what the hell these guys were telling me to do and try it. once I seen the success and I seen what they were doing with airflow, I'm like, wait a minute, this is the only right way to do air conditioning anyway. And if I know what I know about AC and I'm as experienced as I am, there's no way I can't make a better solution and sell it. So I really went from anti-sales to falling in love with sales because of that pathway. And it was just the one or two conversations. One guy is a good personal friend and mentor to this day, and the other one is part of our group, and he's one of our phone closers. Like I said, he facilitated about $12 million this year in sales over the phone.
Impressive.
All right. Anybody else have questions? We've got about 20 minutes left, 19 minutes. Feel free.
I wanted to add something, Mark. What I like most about this is that it takes the selling away from the technician. It's very difficult to get your technicians, to sell, to ask, to conversate about things when you leave them to their own devices. But this takes it away from them. It basically says, go out there, be a tech, be thorough, see what you can find. Your opportunity manager is going to help work you through that. And then we're going to bring in a sales guy and he's going to pick up the ball and run with it.
How many technicians do you know that got into the industry to sell shit? They all got in to fix stuff, right? Just think about it.
Very true. Hey, Dustin, can you are you still in the room here? Let me try to add you. Can you hear us? Can you unmute yourself?
He's backstage. He can hear you. So that's what it is. You can only have 10, you can only have 10 people on the stage.
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry, Dustin. Let me
Gonna help you get
there we go.
Set up a Zoom account, Mark.
There we go. Dude, this StreamYard, I'm paying more for than Zoom, and it's still not able to let more than 10 people in.
I think Discord for video gamers is the way to go, man.
Right.
Seriously, we'll have like 500 people on those chats.
Oh my God. There should have been, I had at least 40 messages that I know personally that I got today saying, I'm coming to this, I'm coming to this, I'm coming to this. And people blowing me up saying I can't get in. So it just pisses me off. Okay. Anyways, Dustin, you had a question and I wanted to give you the opportunity to ask it.
You're talking about earlier with how the TO process, the turnover process looks.
Yes. I know we touched on it before you got in, but if you want more clarity on it, ask away.
So I missed the first 30 minutes or so trying to get in there, but so I don't know if what was touched or not during that time, but just kind of looking, I've picked up, I think for the most part, how it's working with your techs to your senior tech or manager or whatever, but what is the transition from that manager or senior tech over onto your sales guy?
Steve or Ken, you want to take that one?
I can pull open the Slack channel we were on, and I'll give them that example so you can actually see it in live time there. Okay. Simple is running the SOP to the timestamps, and basically, as soon as you have a failed vital, even if there's a capacitor that needs replaced, even if there's repairs that need done, you're gonna have to add that.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
As soon as there's failed vitals, right, you have the supervisor in route. Lifetime example, Colin is the technician going out to the job.
Yeah.
He runs the standard SOP. This is his manager involved. Right? Yes, call me, can send someone out ASAP. He's already telling him we have somebody we can send out ASAP. Green light to Jimmy to Peach. Now, what that means is, you see this right here? Yes, call me. It means Colin called the manager in live time on speaker in front of the customer and said, what the hell is this? This is failed. This is not good, especially with what they found on the heat exchanger. And he already was facilitating getting the rep out there. So you can already see this guy is, I mean, he's 1029, 1043. So in less than 20 minutes, he already knows handoff. There's going to be a supervisor. There's going to be a turnover. Jimmy was added to the channel. The technician continues his inspection. You can see I'm from Florida, y'all, but that right there don't look too safe. I don't know if I would say that, so I would run a CO test, but I'm pretty sure I would red tag that because I wouldn't let my kids sleep with that. I'm sorry. Couldn't let your kids sleep with this. But I don't have a lot of furnace experience, guys. I'm a Southern boy. So you can see right here the CEO. You can see the pictures of the coil. 5-star completed. So this is the sales rep pulling in. You can see they had a slight improvement on the blower after the technician reprogrammed the blower taps. You cannot see that in the channel, but as the manager is instructing him to do it on this phone call, all right, check the filter, make sure all the vents are open, right? And then retest it. Right, so Jimmy comes out and he starts validating what the technician found, running his process. Here we go. Who knows about something? I'm not a gas guy, but I don't think that's okay.
That's extremely high.
I was gonna say I'm not in a gas furnace market, guys, but no. So you can see obviously the equipment was old. There was a lot of work that needed done.
Yeah, 51 parts per minute is not good.
You can see the old school tactic of drawing the solutions, guys. A $20,000 solution that says 4-star, $25,000. Look at this. Like, look at their sales offering. This should just prove and solidify to everybody it's the process that single job tech runs. It's the expectation he sets in the SOP using the call by call and the technology in the VRA. Ability to turn it over. That is what solidifies the urgency. Right, and just so you know, Dustin, they had financing trouble. They did ultimately close this. When we looked at
I'm sorry, I just keep looking at the GIF.
Yeah, so this is him like. That's why they closed the deal. That was him when they closed the deal. That's why. So they were struggling with financing and they got it closed. And when we look on their CRM, if I remember, yeah, I'm not going to look it up now, but they closed that for $25,000. Right. And then if we look at the Slack channel, you can actually see the installer go out there and they have to certify every repair. So their install team has to submit like a thing in Service Titan that shows the design change, and they always have to post the picture. Now our customer system is operating to specification.
So do you see how powerful this is for you, Dustin, being out in the field?
Yeah, so you're just kind of bringing them in, or as far as the sales guy goes, you're sending them straight out. They're not necessarily the warm transfers, not phone or app or whatever. That's, hey, we're en route while you're still doing original pictures.
And it can be in some models, Dustin, there are no sales guys. There's a phone closer that gets on the phone and bangs the deal out with the tech already there.
Gotcha.
Right. So the tech would literally, well, what do I do, supervisor? And hand the phone to the supervisor. He runs the exact same process. He just uses the technician as his hands. And then he gets on the phone with the customer. He runs down the issues and he sells the job.
Okay.
This is wild stuff, man. Like, if I had this when I was out in the field, you know how much more shit I would have sold? Crazy. So, all right. Who else? Who else has questions? Brian,
I think Mejia,
what's that?
it really allows another point here. One of my guys left for Dustin, right? It really leave your sales to the most competent person on every call as well. So as you grow your team and as you expand, you're going to have 2, 3, 4 sales guys at varying different levels of performance, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, in the example we just looked at, that's a nasty example. The unit's old, it's full of dirt, the heat exchangers potentially crack or holes in it. The PPH, again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure 51 ppm of CO is dangerous. The airflow is horrendous. Right. So that's a great example, you could say. But as these calls, see the opportunity behind them as well and make sure that you are coordinating the most competent person for that call. You know, you hear about dispatch for dollars.
Yep.
My guys used to have a 2.5 hour. God, I'm going to get murdered for this by my marketing people. My guys used to have a 2.5 hour traveling circumference. That was simply based on best call to the best tech for the best opportunity. Drive time had zero effect in that equation.
I want to hear from some new people that just hopped in here. Brad, I know you just got in here. I'm going to unmute you if you can hear me, bud.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me well?
All right. Yes, sir. Yeah. And introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and what you guys do.
Yeah. So my name's Brad Boyd. I'm a sales rep for a multi-trade company. I specifically do HVAC out of Rockwall, Texas. So that's a little bit about very, very short version of myself. We're currently doing things that are very similar to kind of what's being discussed here, and what has been discussed in the past, as far as, for instance, like the call by call. We have a version of that that we use. It's still, we're working every day to make that better. Dispatch for dollars. We've got a guy that's specifically staying on top of that. That's doing really well. We've got some of our lower tier guys that, quite frankly, couldn't sell ice water to a person in hell. They're making sales. So that's working out well for them. And we do our sales over the phone. So it's very seldom are we sending out a sales guy such as myself or anybody else for our company out on site to go and visit customers. We're doing most of it over the phone.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's honestly what's birthed some of the strongest phone close teams. I won't talk too much about it, but we have guys that facilitate over the phone without ever leaving their house, without ever sending us.
All right. I'm going to unmute Brian here. Brian, can you hear me, buddy? Brian, you there? All right, we'll come back to Brian. All right, anybody else have some questions here? How about Ted? Let me unmute you, Ted.
Kind of just in the same boat as Joe, small electrical contractor, and just trying to get the guys to trying to look beyond what they're there for as far as the call goes and run certain systems and processes. That's why this is so interesting to me. So
awesome, man. I love it. Where are you based out of?
Connecticut.
Oh, very cool. I would go to the Travelers Championship every year in Cromwell, Connecticut. Are you far from there?
Not too far away, about 45 minutes.
Yeah, great tournament. My buddy and I, we used to go every year, and we would work the player relations tent. So we got to actually drive around with the players next to us. Like I had Bubba Watson in it. The first year he won his PGA event was there.
Nice.
next to me in the cart and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Love that area. Cool. All right, let's see here. Brian,
Yeah, so
no, still there?
just to touch on that a little bit, Ted. There are definitely there's a lot of success with this in electrical, and I wanted to point that out because Alan said something about it. Some of the most profitable segments with the highest sales we've seen have come from electrical departments running this process. I'll give you a quick. We still have Joe on here, and we have Ted. So I'm gonna give you guys an inside look of my intellectual stuff. So this is the SOP my guys are currently running in electrical across the nation. Right here. And this is a version that's been modified by many electricians throughout the years and working with them. You guys might have heard of a guy named Kent Bull. A lot of this is pieces of his process built into what we needed for controlling the job. So he played an absolutely critical role of helping build this out. But yeah, it's literally the same thing, testing the vitals that go back to design, seeing which ones have failed, and building backwards against that. So when it comes to electrical, there's an abundance of electrical resources, just like everything else, buddy.
That's great because electrical sometimes seems like the redheaded stepchild of the whole, industry, somewhat. So,
I'll be honest with you, I love them. I love the electricians because they're like salesmen in disguise. Like they have no shame for charging 20 wire because they have to rewire the whole home, right?
right.
So yeah, I kind of because of that aspect, and plumbing has its own difficulties too, because of the same type of culture things that you're talking about, Ted. I know Alan's fought a lot through that,
All right.
Alan,
I think Brian said that he could hear me. He was having a tough time unmuting his mic.
Alan,
so.
you were muted.
Is that better?
Yeah, there
Yes,
you
sir.
I was just going to say one of my highest performing electricians, he was probably 120 a month sort of guy, wanted to come across to the drain division. So we trained him on how to clear drains and camera drains. And I think he got to about 150, an electrician as a drain tech. So that doesn't happen very often.
No. Let's see here. I know Brian's trying to figure out how to unmute himself, so we'll come back to Brian here. We've got a couple more minutes. How about Chris? Sorry, Chris, I never got to you.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to absorb all the information here. I don't have any specific questions on there. I'm just very impressed with what you have put together.
Awesome, buddy. All right. For those that came in late or didn't see yet, I did just drop the link again for the software. Okay. So when you click on that link, you'll be able to download the software. It'll take you through a couple of different steps of what you will also need in addition to the software, which is Slack Pro account, which is what I would recommend getting. It's $7 per user, but for right now, just get one user. And then go high level, which is also what will help to make everything work and communicate. And then if you're using Service Titan, there is a two-way communication with it. If you're using Sarah or House Call Pro, it's just a one-way integration, but it still is very, very capable of doing what you need it to do. But hopefully we can get other integrations or the two-way integrations with the others soon. But for right now, it's just with Service Titan. Anyone else have some final thoughts here? How about Brenda and Kurt? I know you guys have been on since the beginning, so I appreciate you guys being here as long as you have. You guys have any other further questions? You want to unmute yourself? You guys hear me? I really got to go back to Zoom. This is too difficult for me.
I can hear you, buddy.
There we go.
Oh, there they go. Here they go. Yep.
I had to find the unmute button. Sorry.
We
Hi,
lost
Brenda.
ourselves in your screen.
No, I don't really have a lot of questions either. A couple other people asked some of the questions I had. So, because we're electricians too. So my big thing was when you were going through the process for HVAC, like trying to think of like, okay, how can you make it work in the electrical field? And right now we have a lot of like awesome technicians that do sell, but I could see going forward having less time training them to be fully the deep technician and getting them out there sooner if they've got the right personality, the people personality, and they've got the aptitude, and then doing the turnovers to like either a salesperson or, like you guys said, somebody who can sell from the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your company. Where are you guys based? How many guys do you have in the field? All that fun stuff.
We're in Indiana. We're in somewhat rural area. So we cover like 7 counties. We will be 4 trucks in April. So we're still small. But compared to a lot of people that I'm in business groups with that we share detailed revenues and stuff, I think our technicians are pretty on fire with that.
That's great.
My margins excellent for electrical, and our profits excellent for electrical. So we've honed in a lot of the business things, the operational things, but we're still looking to grow and always looking for new technologies or new ideas to do even better.
Yeah, I think that I know some areas this would work. You know?
Yeah, grow even more in a more rural setting still, but still. We have opportunity, and we're also looking like maybe in a couple of years to add another trade. So
love it. Awesome. Thank you guys for both being here. It means a lot. And again, guys, like small or large company size, this can all be implemented in any business. It gives you so much more clarity.
Ted, definitely, man. Without a doubt, buddy. All it means is you have to manually put your pictures at the end of the job back into house call. That's all you lose is a couple minutes of efficiency. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
What food quotes I have?
Go Colts.
Yeah.
Well, if there's any, is there any other final questions, final thoughts? Anybody want to leave with some final questions, I guess? Somebody just hopped in here. Lewis. Hi, Lewis.
So I kept telling y'all about the $12 million a year phone closing tire sales guy, and here he is. Say hello to Louis Mejia.
Hey guys, how are you? How's
Great.
everyone doing this fine evening?
Of course, you got to hop in at the final hour, man. Everybody's going to hit you up. That's why you did it.
Well, I'm actually just taking a break right now. I've been actually watching you guys for a minute. I was putting some comments and liking your video. For the owners that are actually thinking about, they're wondering like, how do they manage all these channels? How do they do all this? So currently, like in my screen, in my world, I'm currently managing 6 calls at one time and different screens. You can have multiple screens, however many you want, but it makes it super easy and very visible live time per call. I love the process because you can have a lead person, right? You have your lead salesperson, the person that has very high communication skills, and you have your technician that he's a very good mechanic, but he might not like talking to people or not say the right things, or maybe talks too much or not doesn't talk at all. And sometimes those things throw people off. You can have someone with very high communication skills touching every single one of your customers and giving them a 5-star experience every single time. That's what I love about it. And for the electricians, I'm an HVAC guy, but electrical is 100% one of my favorite trades.
Love it, man. I love that you're here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we might have to do a separate event, man. Everyone's asking for your number, so
Guys, if you dial his number, it's going to the phone clothesline. He's gonna sell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell for probably a little bit more than what you're expecting.
You're gonna have to buy an air conditioning system, guys.
A whole home rewire as well.
There you go. Yep. No, you know what? That just sparked an idea, right? So I think we definitely should do that. If you're open to that, Lewis, we can set that up and have everybody just log into an event and have you kind of, walk through your process, maybe even share your screen if that's something you can do without giving away too much confidential information. But those, what'd you say, 6 screens that you look at? Is that what?
No, I have one screen, but I have.
Oh, okay.
It's able to. 1 second here.
Can you share your screen right now or no?
I'm on my mobile. But
oh, okay.
What I can do.
Sorry, guys. I was planning on doing a hard stop with you, but how do I stop this, right?
That was my fault, guys. I'm sorry. He kept leaving comments. I'm like, just join the group, join the thing.
I said, why not? Just take a little break.
Who needs sleep when we could just make money while we're on the phone, right?
100%. And that's the way I look at it, man. It's just, why not?
No, I love it. It's great. Oh, I can see you now.
Oh, geez.
There you go.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Put some clothes on. Come on, man.
Does that make sense? Can you see that?
I can see that. Yeah.
So
yeah. I'll try to make you.
It's one screen.
Can everybody see this better now that I changed the view?
Yeah.
There you go, dude. This is
so
sick.
I have.
So this is your screen right here.
This is one company, 2 company. This is like different screens, different text right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is just another thing that I have going on up here. But I have. Oh, look at that little puppy. So that's a customer's puppy that, sometimes we even bring them treats if we have them. So this is all different different techs that are live currently right now. We just closed a deal with it was $26,000, and it's 938. Depending on where you live, but we're always ready to help. We're always willing to make it happen.
And are you currently at home or are you in the office?
Oh, right now? I'm home. I'm sitting at the luxury of my home.
The phone closed.
And are you always at home?
Yeah. So currently I'm in the middle of moving right now. So I'm not in my office setting, but yeah, I'm mobile.
That's fantastic, man.
But what I like about this is before me doing this, I like Steve was saying, I used to sell tires, guys. I used to manage 4 different locations, and I knew nothing about. I didn't even know what a capacitor was. When I'm telling you that I went from going from the tire industry to the HVAC industry, and I trained hard for 2 months, going into different trucks. I went through service trucks. I went through sales trucks. I went through install trucks. I wanted to see exactly what I was getting into. Financially, it was the best thing that I could have done for myself and my family. And my first month by myself, my first week by myself in the truck, I sold 150K.
I love it, man.
Just by following the process.
That's it. Follow the fucking process, like
that's
Alan
it.
Says.
Literally, it's you follow the process, and anyone can do it as long as they're willing to do it. If they're very driven, and they want to succeed, they want to improve themselves financially, mentally. Listen to Steve. Steve talks about different books that he reads. If you study the process, sometimes I catch my wife and I role play with her, and I role play different scenarios, different processes, either for electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and it works for us. But I have the drive to do so.
Yeah, you're always wanting to learn. I love that.
Yeah, and well, you have to, especially in this industry. You're not dealing with monopoly money here.
Right. Dude, that's so crazy. So, do you do any type of like rehash outbounding as well, or is it just mainly monitoring the live, calls that your guys are on?
Monitoring live. That's where
Okay.
it's at right here, right now. I have done rehash,
Hmm.
but my focus is on every single call, every single tech that's coming in that I have. That's where my focus is 100%.
Well, it makes the most sense, right? Because it's the here and now. And this now gives us the ability to do those things, where that's probably why rehash was such an important piece that companies did start implementing because they didn't have something like this, right?
Right. This
So
avoids
now
having to rehash
you
so
don't
much.
even
You
need to
can
rehash.
exactly. It
Exactly.
downscales your list by who knows
Yeah.
50, 60%.
Yes. Bingo.
Why do it
Took the
later when
words
we
right out
could
of my
do it
mouth.
now?
Bingo, man. I love it. Yeah, this is great. This is fire, man. Definitely got to get you on a separate event if that's something that we can set up. If Steve's okay with all that and setting that up, I know you're a busy man, but clearly people are asking about how to connect with you. So I think we
Well,
should
we
definitely
can
do that.
we can definitely set it up, guys. But to everybody here, right? To everybody here, remember the technology itself, the Slack process. What you can't do is start phone closing without controls, because what you'll do is you sell yourself out of profitability or business extremely fast, right? So you've seen his screen. That's a very, very organized and controlled chaos. And that's pretty important to point out.
And without the tool, I would not be able to do my job properly. I can tell you that right now. If it wasn't for the training that Steve's given me to be able to do this and have the tools to be able to do this, that's what helps me be successful every single day. That's how I have the ability to do my job, is because of the tool. You can dig a 6-foot hole by hand, but I would definitely rather have a shovel.
That's funny.
I like it. I like it. Good stuff, guys. This is awesome. All right. Well, now that we have Lewis on, anybody have any final questions or final thoughts before we end? No, everybody good?
It's like calling somebody like in the battlefield, be like, "Hey, let me speak to a military." Yeah, I'm literally in the field right now. We're battling.
Love it, man. No, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We'll
No problem. I
we'll have to
appreciate you guys having me.
Dustin just said, how is tech compensation made better with this process?
Yeah, so I can't say that it's made better with the process. All of that comes down to but without a doubt, with proper operations, you have simply more conversion, more turnover. We have the highest paid guys in the industry without a doubt. So we have technicians that make anywhere from 80 to 150 grand a year. We have some sales guys closing out well over $300,000-$400,000. You go to any of our states, like Washington or Wisconsin, where we're directly competing with the union, and we're paying higher wage than the union. We have better benefit packages. Substantial thing, but I want to point out, call by call and the tool, Dustin, it's not going to help you do that. That is purely operational management control. That is day by day grind. You heard Ken talk about my team having meetings with him every day. It's that level of visibility and control that gives you the operations to have those strong finances. This is just a tool to help increase and control that mechanism, but you definitely have to be able to you definitely have to be able to control it from a management perspective to ever be able to afford to pay it. Like Ken said, I mean, Ken, I'm pretty sure his managers all make 70 to 90 a year. They're all on a bonus plan this year. They're going to make up to 150% of their current wage. So if they make $100 grand a year, they're going to have an opportunity to make $1,000 this year. and that goes all the way back down to the bottom helper. No, and so when we start getting the technicians to do it, it's super simple. Hey guys, run the process. When you turn over to design, anything that's how I've always paid is 2%. Some people have done it a little bit differently. Everything to me is math, guys. I typically pay 5, 6, 7%, sometimes up to 8% commission rates to sales guys. I have sales guys on 6,000 this year. So to me, it's more about a percentage and making sure it's compliant. Local operators usually figure that out. And then I'll typically, I'm sure you guys know Ian, HR guy. He's the type of guy that'll sign off, finalize anything, because I am just an operator, not an HR compliant guy.
Love it. All right. So we're going to wrap this up here. Again, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Please go ahead and click on that to get the software. Steve, I want to thank you for all of your time tonight and your knowledge of just walking everybody through this. It means a lot to me. Alan, thank you for being here as well. Ken, Lewis, obviously, thanks guys for being in here and providing value. That's what we're all about. So I'm sure everyone will have more questions of kind of how we should set it up after you have the software. So hit me up, right? Send me a message, ask me what you guys need. We can certainly set up a one-on-one, right? And I can gladly get Steve in on those calls and, see how this whole thing can work for your business. Okay. All righty. Thanks guys. I appreciate you. Take care.
Thanks guys. Have a good night.
All righty. Okay.
Catch you guys.